What's up, guys? Welcome back to the 12th episode of Sox and Four podcast. Uh, we are brought to you by Ride the Wave Media, and we are sponsored by 10100 Official. 10100 is a raffle company just starting up. You can check them out on Instagram at 10100 Official. They do raffle giveaways. We are currently doing a Kemba Walker jersey giveaway, and we have done ticket giveaways in the past, and we also do raffle entries. So we gave away tickets to Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Finals. All you have to do is enter the set amount, and you'll just enter your chance to win. And the tickets and seats are usually nice too. So on the show today, we have Alex, who's been on the show the past couple of weeks. We have Dan, who is making his second appearance, and Uriel, who's making his first appearance. If you'd like to introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I'm just graduated high school. Always been a Sox fan. I'm writing for Ride the Wave. Just published an article. You check it out about the London series. Excited to be here.
So I have been looking at the past 7 games for the Red Sox, and I haven't been too happy with the way they've been playing. We have a lot of losses. We lost 2 out of 3 to the Blue Jays, and we got swept by the Yankees the past weekend in London. So what are your thoughts in the London series? They lost the first game 17-3 and the second game 12-8.
17-13.
17-13. What are you guys' thoughts?
I guess the one benefit you can take away from it is that our offense is alive and well. But just the fact that we put up that many runs and still lose ball games is just unacceptable as a ball club and as an organization. It's been a tough last week to watch as a Red Sox fan. Personally, I'm in last couple of years, I'm usually not happy when the All-Star break comes up. I enjoy watching the Sox, but I could use a break from watching this team. And I mean, these last couple of series before the All-Star break, we need to get some wins to end on a good note.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
Go ahead, Euro.
Yeah, I was just saying. I mean, they averaged 10.5 runs in 2 games and got swept. I mean, and even in the second game, it was 4-2. You kind of knew they were going to lose that game. It was just a question of which reliever was going to blow it. I mean, I'm telling you, this team, this pitching staff, these relievers are really, really bad. And yeah, I mean, it's a good thing the offense keeps going. They've been going all year, but I mean, they're not gonna go anywhere if this bullpen is just overused. It's not talented. I mean, they got to figure it out.
I think there's a few things you can take away from this series. One, let's never play in London again. I never want to go back there. We got our asses destroyed. I think it just goes back to show, like I've been saying, the whole time I've been on here, if it's not one thing, it's the other. Starting pitching game 1, we can't even go a whole full inning. Porcello gets out with I think with 1 or 2 outs. He's out. Giving up 6 runs. And it's not even just him. It was Tanaka as well, which is on the Yankees side. So it's a little interesting how that was played. But I also, the game 2, like Dan said, you just don't know, and Ural said, you just don't know which pitcher it's going to be. Who's going to blow it. And once again, we let up, 9 runs in the 7th inning as we were up in the second game. So it's starting pitching, it's bullpen. Like you had mentioned, Dylan, the 2 series before, the Chicago White Sox and the Blue Jays, it's just awful. And we don't have a closer, and I just don't think there's an answer right now for the bullpen. So,
I would like to praise some of the starters. Like you had Erod. I thought Erod pitched a great game on Sunday for sure. 2 runs, but the bullpen's just ridiculous. I mean, the starting pitching, each pitcher has had their ups and downs, but at least these guys are pitching us. Like the Red Sox in most of their games, they're ahead. They're ahead by a couple of runs too. And it's because the offense and the starting pitching has kept them in the game. And then it's just like the seventh inning comes and there's no point in even watching anymore because, oh yeah, Matt Barnes can't finish the eighth inning or Marcus Walden let the bases loaded. It just turns into a disaster instantly. And it's just disappointing to watch. I have no answers right now, but just that we need to make a move.
Yeah, we definitely
think
need
it
to make
also-
a move. Yeah, go ahead.
Oh, me?
I was just gonna say that I think it also shows how good the Yankees are. I mean, they blew us apart. They've been injured all year, and I think the thing is they started to pick it up after the first 3 weeks to a month, and now they're just clicking on all cylinders. And now instead of being possibly 7 games back, now we're looking at 11 games back. So I think it goes to show how good of a team they are and how hard it is, really how hard it is to win the AL East this year.
Yeah, I mean that's kind of exactly what I was gonna say. In the beginning of the season, we were a couple games back from the Yankees 5 in that 5-game, 7-game range, and I was like, okay, well, we win some games here and there, get some pieces along the way, we could be in the hunt for the division at the end of the season. But after a devastating series like that, I honestly don't know how close we are to that anymore, and if even that's a realistic goal. I think the wild card is our best and probably only shot at the postseason, and the Yankees are just killing it, and there's no one that's going to stop them right now.
Yeah, I really at this point I can't really see the Red Sox coming back and overtaking the Yankees. I think the Yankees are just running away with the division at this point. So the Red Sox are a good baseball team. We're a wild card team at most, but we're gonna keep losing games unless the bullpen makes a move.
I
Yeah, and
disagree.
I think I saw Tom Caron tweet out that Evaldi, when he comes back, might be going to the bullpen, and I think I said that right when he got injured. I think it might be a good idea to maybe be our closer because he has nasty stuff, and even if we can put him in the bullpen and make a trade for maybe like with the Giants in a Mad Bum and Will Smith package, then Mad Bum can be a starter and Will Smith could be another guy in the bullpen. Like I think that you really got to stack the back end of this bullpen because if you look at the 6th through 8th innings, the Red Sox bullpen really hasn't been that bad. I mean, with Workman, Barnes in the 8th, they haven't been that bad. Even Marcus Walden, and so like they need that 9th inning guy. Last year, if you had a lead going into the 9th, you knew Craig was the game was over. They just don't have that this year.
Well, inconsistency is the word. You look at, like you said, they've been blowing games in the 9th, but and you say they're not that bad in the 6th, 7th, or 8th, but they let up 9 runs in the 7th inning of Game 2 of that series. I disagree. I'm not counting out the Sox right now. I'm not. We play the Yankees, I believe, 12 more games this year, 4 in New York, 8 in Boston. So we do play them a lot. We have our chances to sort of prove ourselves as a team and go out there and try to get some of those games. If we can't do that, then you can start counting them out. But like you just mentioned in the beginning, Dylan, we're at the All-Star break here in what's a week. So there's still plenty of baseball to be played. I wouldn't count them out yet, but like you guys have been saying, if they fix these bullpen issues or not, that definitely depends on what's going to happen. So,
oh, they definitely still have the potential to win the division. The second half is a whole different story. But I mean, it's just frustrating the way the Yankees have been playing. There's nothing. I don't know. It's just I think the schedule too this year has just been ridiculous for the Red Sox. I mean, we haven't even played the Yankees at home yet. We haven't seen the Yankees at Fenway. They considered those 2 London games home games to the Red Sox, which makes no sense to me. They also start the season with that West Coast trip that killed them too. They could have won. They had the potential to win more games in that whole trip. And now they're in Toronto, and then they have a whole nother road trip. They don't return to Fenway until July 12th. Now, that's a long time to be on the road, especially for the guys that are going to the All-Star game, too. They're just going to go from Toronto to – who are we playing next?
Detroit, I think.
Detroit.
Yeah, at Detroit.
So, I mean, I just think that the MLB is kind of screwing them this year as well. But we have a whole nother second half. You know, the Yankees come to Fenway, so those are important games. I think the Red Sox have the potential to sweep the Yankees in that series.
I don't know about that. We'll see.
I don't know. I mean,
But
you see the DJ LeMahieu. I mean, that guy's a monster. I don't know where he. I mean, the Coors effect clearly isn't taking effect on him. Guy's raking.
Yeah, he's just kind of one of those, I feel like every year the Yankees have this, those one or two guys that just come out of nowhere and just have like amazing seasons and you couldn't have predicted. And this year, it's just a big combination of all of their talent coming in at once, all the pieces they got, all the, Edwin and Carcion, who they picked up earlier a couple weeks ago. That was an absolute steal and adding to it even more deadly lineup, and it's kind of scary to watch.
Oh yeah, it is for sure. And then you have guys like DJ LeMahieu, who makes it I'm pretty sure he made the starting lineup in the All-Star game. And then you have Gio Urshela, he's another guy. It's just all this young talent coming together, and they're just forming into a super team right now. That's just what it looks like to me.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I agree. So that
Other
All-Star
Red
game,
Sox
Dylan.
news?
I don't have any other Red Sox news. I think we covered it well. There's still a lot of season, like you said, Dylan, and we're heading towards the All-Star break, and we just gotta refocus. We're playing two teams, 3 games each, I think, before the All-Star break, and we can try to take those. I mean, we should be sweeping both those teams, if you ask me, in my opinion. But let's focus on those games and move on. I think we covered everything.
Also, the talking about the All-Star game, what do you guys feel about Bogarts and Devers not making the All-Star game?
It's just ridiculous.
I mean, Bogarts is he's debatably a top 3 shortstop in the league. In the AL, the only other guy that has any case to start over him is Polanco. And even so, you got to give the nod to Bogarts. I mean, every year, I don't know what it is about Bogarts. I guess he doesn't have Twitter, he doesn't have so much social media. He just goes so underrated every single year, and he just produces. I mean, like, when he's had a wrist that wasn't broken, he hasn't really had a bad year in his career. He's been so solid his whole career since 2013. And then Devers, I mean, look at Urshela. Look at the stats versus her. I tweeted them out a couple days ago. Almost all of Devers' stats are better than Urshela's. I can't even believe that one. I mean, the defense maybe, but I mean it's not close.
No, it really isn't. It's just disappointing how a guy like him, he deserves to be in this All-Star game. He's been a stud at shortstop in the league since 2013. It's frustrating too. I think Red Sox fans should be disappointed as well that they didn't do their part in voting to get these guys in the All-Star game, because they definitely deserved it. You hear guys too like Mookie Betts, Carlos Correa. They're like, yeah, Bogarts definitely deserves to be in it. He should be a starter in the All-Star game for sure. And then he goes and doesn't even make the All-Star game.
But I also have to say that, like, the fact that you need to get fan votes to be in the All-Star game is just ridiculous. I think it should be purely if you're having a good season, if your statistics are up there, if you're raking the ball, doing great in the field, you make the team. It's simple as that. I feel like an off the field fan voting by some fans don't even pay attention to the stats. I wrote an article last week about fans only care about flashy plays and who's wearing their jersey, and that affects the voting harshly, and that's how Bogart's endeavors get screwed over.
Oh yeah, it does. And Bogarts for sure. Like he's a humble guy. He's not one of those guys that most Red Sox fans, they're wearing Mookie Betts jerseys, or they're wearing JD Martinez's jersey, but it's just like he's a quiet guy. It's just the fan voting. It just shows how some fans really love the game and other fans know very little about the game to vote a guy like him to the All-Star game.
Mm-hmm.
I think the All-Star game is a joke now. You can't get the best players in. It's not even being played for the World Series home field advantage anymore. And it just, like Dan said, all it is about the votes. And then I wanted to bring up something because Adam unfortunately couldn't make it tonight. He wanted to bring this up, which is one of Phil Hughes' tweets. And he tweeted, "Can we finally get rid of the mandate requiring every team have an all-star game rep? You're either an all-star or you're not." And I think that, that goes in well with what we're talking right now about the all-star game. I agree with Phil Hughes' tweet. I was curious what you guys thought about it. I don't think that, especially since it's not played for home field advantage anymore, and teams can't sit there and say, we didn't have anyone representing. That's blah, blah, blah. It's unfair. I don't agree with it. I think the best person, like Dan said, should be in there, and then it goes from there stat-wise. So I just wanted to see what your guys' opinion was.
I mean, I 100% agree with that statement. The fact that, as we said, I think it's just a pure money move for the MLB. It's like, we want every team represented, so the fans get someone to watch. It's like that's just complete and utter garbage. All-stars are all-stars, and as simple as that. If your statistics aren't up there, you're not an all-star. I remember the first year they did the all-star voting, or the every team gets a rep strategy. I remember watching it and just seeing this scrub from Philadelphia in the outfield, and I was like, who is that guy? And it kind of just ruined the experience for me because I'm not seeing top level play in the all-star game, and I think that statement is very true.
I agree with you completely on that one. 100%.
Yeah,
You're only saying that because you're going next week.
Yes, I will be at the All-Star game. So make sure you guys check Ride the Wave MLB and Ride the Wave Media. Check the stories, check the posts. Be providing as much content as I can.
Yeah, you'll be with Boston Fro, so that'll be a good time, man. Hope you enjoy.
Oh, we'll be. I'm really excited for it. Also, last week,
and just sorry.
No, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Just on that, I think I gotta be the odd man out. I think I gotta disagree with Phil Hughes real quick. I think that if I'm not mistaken, it's not like it takes away a spot. Like it's an added spot. You know what I'm saying? Like you could just keep voting in more players, but this is to replace them, the one from each team. But it's not like it's taking away a spot from a vote, if that makes sense. I think that is just a cool thing that everyone, that it's like, it was meant to be just like a exhibition until, Bud Selig was an idiot and made it actually worth something. But it was meant to be just an exhibition. Everyone could see their players. I remember, I think Brock Holt made it one year just as that guy to be represented because he's a utility guy. I think maybe, I don't know if JBJ made it as that guy. He might have actually been voted in, but a couple of years ago. But I personally think it's pretty cool to see, all the teams be represented. It attracts more fans, and it doesn't seem like to me it's really taking away. And they're only gonna play an inning,
or maybe an out.
Yeah.
No, I see where you're going.
Yeah, exactly.
So you want to get the whole country involved and every, or at least every stay with the team. So that makes sense.
I mean, yeah, I understand your point. I feel like if we're gonna go by that logic, if we take away every rep for to rep every team, you also have to take away fan voting, or else there's just going to be a bunch of Yankees, Astros, and Red Sox on the field only, and there's going to be like no other teams. So I feel like you have to balance it out if we do that.
What do you mean? I mean, it's not the case this year. There are no Red Sox starters.
I know, but I'm saying like if there's no reps, like if you don't need a rep, then I mean we saw the dominance of the New York market and their fan voting. A lot of Yankees were on the board, and the Astros were on the ballot. So I feel like it would just be cluttered with like the Astros infield and the Yankees outfield and like stuff like that. So I mean there should be
I
a
guess.
balance. Yeah.
And like in like 2016 when the Royals fans all like stuffed the ballots and like
Yeah,
it was
exactly.
just Royals and Trout.
There
But, like,
does have to be a balance.
yeah, I don't know. I think that they're going in the right direction with like the final three voting. They have two separate votings.
Hmm.
I think that's a step in the right direction though.
Yeah.
But
I think that's all for Red Sox news. In MLB news, Angels pitcher Tyler Skaggs, he was found dead in a Texas hotel room. The investigation is currently ongoing. I don't know if any of you guys have any updates on that.
I know they're doing an autopsy, I believe, tomorrow, but that's all I know.
Yeah, no
Yeah,
updates on my end.
terrible.
It's sad.
They have,
I mean-
they have no idea how he died or anything. It was
Yeah, it was just like a freak accident, like no clue. Just yeah,
They said they didn't believe he committed suicide, but like I said, the autopsy is tomorrow, so they might be able to find some more information tomorrow or the day after. So once the test results,
he just pitched a couple days ago, I think, like Saturday or Sunday.
yeah, maybe.
Yeah, I
don't
heard
know.
he's performing very well too, so it's definitely very saddening.
Yeah.
He's 27 years old.
I mean, as you know, as Red Sox fans, you know, we probably don't. I don't personally know much about Tyler Skaggs. You know, he plays on the other side of the country, but you know, just in general, when you lose, you know, a young talent and like a great person in the league like that, it's just very sad for every fan base, and on Twitter, everyone kind of just came together, and gave their prayers, gave their blessings to the Skaggs family, and we lost a good player, but a better man, and may he rest in peace.
Yeah, I think that's it with that. Well said.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
If we look around the MLB as well, we have the Yankees, of course, who are running away with the AL East currently. That's not to say the Red Sox or the Rays will make a second half comeback, but they currently have a record of 54-28. We got the Twins, who lead the AL Central with a record of 53-30, and the Astros lead the West with a record of 53-32.
I think the AL speaks for itself. I don't see anyone really beating the Twins or Astros. Like I said, and I think we covered this before, it really depends on those last 12 Yankee games we have in this second half of the season, and depends on how the bullpen plays and the starting pitching and just our issues. So we still have, I think, 75 games, I believe, left, maybe a little more. We're just over halfway through the season, so there's still a lot of baseball. I think the Red Sox have the best chance out of any of those other divisions having any team come back. I think the Sox have the best chance of doing that, but I think the Central and the West are already wrapped up.
I would agree with you. The wild card race is looking a little bit more close. The Rays and the Rangers currently have the first and second wild card spots, followed by third, the Indians, who are half a game out. Fourth, the A's, who are tied with the Indians. And then the Red Sox are fifth. They're currently 2 games out of the wild card right now. And then you have the Angels and the White Sox, who are 4.5 and 5.5 back of the wild card. So there's still lots of baseball left. I wouldn't even be surprised if the Mariners make a second half comeback too, because they started the season out really hot. But there's still a lot of baseball. So I definitely feel like the Red Sox will win the wild card, but we'll have to see. It's going to be an interesting rest of the season.
I mean, the it's called the wild card for the reason. It's always a wild race at the end of the year, and the teams usually contending for it, they're make or break. Just the teams you listed there, I feel like they're very inconsistent sometimes on the field. Win loss, win loss. I mean, we've seen with the Red Sox their inconsistency. I feel like a lot of teams are in their boat, but I feel like all those teams still have talent, and really you can't really predict the wild card. You kind of just have to watch it unfold, and yeah.
I would agree with you there. Now, looking at the National League, we have the Braves, who lead the NL East with a record of 50-35. The Brewers lead the NL Central with a record of 46-39. They are followed by the Cubs, who are one game behind them. And then the NL Central, we'll get back to that because all of the teams are still competing right now. And then currently in the NL West, the Dodgers are 12 games ahead of the Rockies. But the NL West, everyone's playing good baseball right now, even the Cincinnati Reds, Adam's team.
That's the Central Division. I think the West is done. The Dodgers are easily going to walk away with that unless they totally collapse and some kind of miracle happens. I think the NL Central, like you said, I think Cincinnati, I don't know what they're putting in that Skyline Chili. They're only 6.5 games back. So, Adam, they have a chance. Shout out to you, big guy. They have a chance. I think anyone can win that division. It's really up for grabs. I will say that I think that Chicago is going to take it, but like I said, anyone can take that division because it's so close. And then the NL East, I think you really only have the Braves and the Phillies. I just don't see the Mets really climbing up there. And the Phillies, well, they're the Phillies, so I think the Braves will take that one.
Going back to the Reds,
Yeah,
did you guys see the fight, the Yasiel Puig fight?
Yeah. Seems like he gets in
He
a
just
fight
gets
like
in
every
fights
month,
almost every day.
like
Oh my
all the
gosh.
time. So funny.
Yeah, but
Yeah, he's
I think
trouble.
with the
That's why I
Central-
asked Adam. Go ahead.
Yeah, I think with the Central, I think the Brewers are kind of similar to the Red Sox. They're kind of underperforming this year. They obviously have Yelich, already has 30 bombs before the All-Star break, which is pretty ridiculous, but he'll be in the home run derby. It'll be fun to watch. But, the biggest problem with the Brewers right now is starting pitching. They need some starting pitching, maybe some help in the bullpen too. I expect them to, at the trade deadline, to maybe bring in an arm or two, and I really think that'll boost them in the Central. The Cubs are really fun to watch. Javi's an electric factory. Rizzo's just really consistent. But I think that ultimately it's going to be the Brewers division if they
Who would have
can
thought
just bring in
Yelich?
an arm or two.
Who
Because
would have
with how
thought he
Yelich
would
is going,
he might be able to outdo last MVP, season's MVP. So that's crazy. He's on fire right now.
So in the NL
He's
Central,
very
we're looking at the Cubs, who are a game behind the Brewers. I think the Cubs will overtake the Brewers and win the division, especially because of the Craig Kimbrell signing. I think it just pushes the Cubs over the edge.
Yeah.
So that's my prediction to win the NL Central.
I mean, the NL Central, I'm just going to go ahead and say it's probably the most talented and most competitive division in baseball this year.
I agree.
Obviously the Cubs and the Brewers, two contenders that, can definitely make a postseason push, but you shouldn't count out Pittsburgh and Cincinnati either. I feel like even if they're out of the playoff picture by the end of the year, they can still play dirty bird for other teams and, knock some losses on some other team schedules. And, they have some talented clubs. And, of course, the Cardinals, I feel like they always have a solid squad out there. They never have a real down year. So, it's anyone's game. But I feel like, kind of last year where it came down to the last couple of days of the Brewers and the Cubs, I feel like the Brewers just, I don't know. I feel like they're more due the fizz out than compared to the Cubs. You look at the Cubs roster, it just has more talent up and down than the Brewers. But, I really don't know. I just have to watch and see.
I think it's just going to come down, honestly, to those divisional games. Whoever wins those divisional games, I'm sure they play each other probably anywhere from 8 to 10 more times this year, since it's only halfway through the season. So I think really, honestly, whoever wins those divisional games is going to win that division. But I think I think I agree with all our answers and our points at that point. So
And then looking
Yeah,
at the
in
West,
Central, one more thing.
no, go
Just
ahead.
it's hard to believe in the Central. The Pirates are sort of underperforming when they got Josh Bell. Funny thing about Josh Bell is that, he was about to be a Red Sox in I think 2013 or whenever it was when we were trying to trade Lester. There were a lot of discussions. I think it was Charrington was going to trade Lester for Josh Bell. He was a prospect at the time, but I guess he didn't do it. He would have received a lot of flack for trading for a prospect. But what could have been? Do it at like 77 RBI right now.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, you look at his up and down stats. I feel like this is his first breakout year. I mean, in a couple of years, if he continues this trend, then yes, he's a bona fide star. But we've seen a lot of one-hit wonders in this league. I feel like especially this year, a lot of big names are coming out of the woodwork and just popping up on MLB Twitter. But I like Josh Bell as a player, and I feel like he can definitely bring baseball back to Pittsburgh after McCutchen left, and they have something brewing down there.
Josh Bell will also be in the home run derby, by the way. What are you guys' thoughts in the home run derby? I hear it's a lot of good sluggers in the home run derby. I think.
Are you going to the home run derby?
No, I'm not. I'm just going to the All-Star game.
The home run derby might be more exciting, not gonna lie.
It might be, but looking at the competitors, we have Carlos Santana and the Indians, Pete Alonso and the Mets, Christian Yelich and the Brewers, Vlad Guerrero Jr. and the Blue Jays, Josh Bell and the Pirates.
I like the home run derby, and I don't like it, and this is why. I like it because it's who doesn't like going to a ballpark and seeing bombs getting whacked out in the outfield and having a chance to especially grab one if you're sitting out there. The only thing I don't like, because not the best home run hitters are out there, and that's because it tires them out. We've seen it with Aaron Judge when he won. He ended up sort of slowing down the second half of the season. So I hate the fact that you can't get the best bombers out there. So
yeah, I see your point on that. The Derby, the last couple of years we haven't seen the best names out there due to people not wanting to participate. I mean, we've heard JD's and Mookie's opinion on it where they just aren't interested. But I feel like this year's lineup is very going to be very competitive and put up big numbers. I think maybe it's due to the large amount of talent this year or breakout stars. I mean, look at Vlad Guerrero Jr. He doesn't have the statistics and hasn't been, played that many games this year. He got called up during the season, but he definitely has that home run swing that if you put a ball right in the middle, he's going to send it, 400 plus. So, I feel like, even if they're not the best statistically home run hitters, even though we do have that in like Yelich and Alonso, they've set it up great for some great excitement coming up.
I mean, you don't even have Bellinger in this year, and you didn't have Mookie and JD in last year. And just look at the seasons they've been having. So it just sucks to be like, hey, I'm going to home run derby, and you got Group B guys, and you have Group A, who's obviously better, and they're not out there. So
that's true. I kind of enjoy this year at the fact that, you look last year, the main highlight, Harper, Judge before that, and Stanton. I feel like this is anyone's derby this year.
I do too. I feel like there is a lot of talent in this year, especially. I think it's all Christian Yelich this year, though. I got Christian Yelich winning the derby. I don't know about you guys, but
how can you not go with them?
Yeah.
I don't know. Did you see? I don't know if you saw the video I posted on the Ride the Wave MLB account tonight of Vlad Jr. taking practice hacks.
No, I didn't see that.
I saw that.
I saw that.
I gotta check
he
that
was
out.
hitting tanks.
Those were
Was
missiles.
Well, he had a chance earlier in tonight's game to tie it up when it was 5-1 and bases loaded, but he popped fly. I was getting nervous on the edge of my couch. He can definitely hit it out.
Unfortunately for him, they don't throw home run derby type pitches in the real MLB. Or
meatballs.
He'd be hitting like 900 with like 80 bombs.
That was crazy.
Okay, I think that wraps it up tonight for the Sox and 4 podcast.
Hey, wait.
Anyone-
Before Dylan, before you end it, we got to get, since Adam's not here, can we do a lock?
Yeah. All right. Here's my lock of the week. I'll make my lock of the week.
Yeah, we should each do a lock of the week since Adam's not here.
The only thing is, my lock of the week doesn't have to do with this week. But I said it earlier in the podcast. I think when the Yankees come to Fenway, the Red Sox end up sweeping them.
Okay,
That's my
I
lock.
like that. I like that. All right, Dan, what's yours?
Let's stay in the All-Star conversation. I feel like Pete Alonso is going to win the home run derby.
Okay.
And Uriel, you might be new to this, but basically, we came up with a concept lock of the week. Adam puts in his bets every week on what he like a prediction basically. I don't know if you have anything in mind at the top of your head.
Yeah, no. I'm just looking at the schedule here. First of all, 3 games against the Dodgers right after the All-Star break. That's gonna be fun. But let's see, 6 games including tonight till the All-Star break. I'll say they go 5-1, going hot.
There we go.
Good luck.
You were on the track of me. I was looking at the schedule as well, and I'm gonna say they go into the All-Star game with a 6-game win streak.
Ooh.
So I'm gonna top that. I'm gonna go 6-0. So, and
I
then
hope so.
one other thing Adam wanted me to ask is, let's vote for the All-Star game. Who's going to win, AL or NL? Since you're going, Dylan, we got to see who are we thinking is going to win. I'm going to go with the AL division.
I'm gonna go with the AL as well. Especially, I'm really excited to watch Mookie Betts and JD in Cleveland. So definitely gonna be rooting for the AL, and I have bets on them to win.
I'm kind of pissed at the AL team for not having Bogarts and Devers, so I'm going to say NL.
I like that.
I mean, you guys see this NL team? I mean, this team, Acuna, Yelich, and Bellinger in the outfield.
You're
Yeah,
right.
You don't
You're
get much
right.
better.
That's
Don't
unstoppable
get
right
much
there.
better than that.
So you going NL?
Yeah, I'm going in now.
All right.
Put Xander in there, maybe I'd go AL, but
All right. Well, we hope you have fun, Dylan.
Oh, thank you. I hope
Enjoy
to.
the trip.
I will. Next week we will try to record on Monday. I don't know if that's possible, but we will do. If that is possible, we will do an All-Star game breakdown and possibly a preview, or we'll talk about the home run derby as well, and then we'll have some Sox talk about second half of the season and how they played this week, especially if they end up going 6-0, like Alex said.
I hope so, man. I
Fingers
hope so.
crossed, baby.
That's right.
Any final thoughts, guys?
go Sox.
Go Sox. Yeah, exactly.
Go
Go
Sox.
Sox, and they're up 7-1, so I'm already looking good. We might win this game, so that could be 1-0. But no, just have fun, Dylan, and look forward to us, watching Ride the Wave Media story and the Ride the Wave Media MLB story when you're at the All-Star game, man.
Thanks, guys. Everyone stay tuned as well. Next week in the podcast, we hope to have Tyler and Adam back. We've had a few things come up. We weren't able to record last week due to medical issues and personal issues and work issues, everything like that. Life happens, but we're going to try stay consistent, uploading once a week. So definitely stay tuned and ride the wave, guys. Have a good one.